we started off by talking about OEP and just being cognizant of the fact that you cannot market the OEP. When you go out to the carrier websites for marketing materials, everything that they have out is compliant. So you don't have to worry about not being able to use those materials. It's when you're creating your own materials, doing something more generic, that you probably want to float that through our office. Just make sure that we get a set of eyes on it. Make sure that it is 100% compliant. We would hate for you to be mailing something out there and just one little thing be off that we could correct beforehand. The other thing I would say is be aware of some of the election period changes that have taken place for 2019 and, of course, would still apply for 2020. And that would be with specific to duals and those that are on a low-income subsidy. So for individuals that are dual eligible or are getting help with their prescription drugs, they used to be able to change every single month, but now they can only change quarterly. And that's for the first 3 months of the year, the first 3 quarters of the year. The last quarter is still just the annual enrollment period. So folks with LIS and dual special needs eligibility are not allowed to change. So for the, February 1st effective dates now, you can write duals, you can write the LIS, but if you write them for 2-1, then they don't have a 3-1. They don't have another enrollment period until 4-1, and then the same thing applies for the second and third quarter. The third thing I would mention with respect to compliance is that you want to be sure that you always have permission to contact. And if you're going back and you're working some of those leads from AEP or even from last year, be aware that you only have a 9-month window after you capture that lead to call that consumer. After the 9th month, then you would have to get permission to contact again. So I know a lot of folks will go back and call through their book of business or call through their leads. Just be sure that you still have permission to contact. If they're no longer your member, then you no longer have permission to contact. So check back through your renewals. Make sure that you still have that specific beneficiary listed as one of your members. Now, and that's one of the other things, and I'm sure we'll get into this later in the podcast, but if you sell multiple products to a beneficiary, even if they leave you for the Medicare Advantage plan or the prescription drug plan, let's say you still have hospital indemnity with them or a dental plan, then you do have permission to contact them still with respect to that specific product. So it's another benefit of having multiple products is being able to avoid that, that PTC guideline within CMS Medicare guidelines.